Sonic the Hedgehog is a really interesting character. You see, I say that because he's got so many different versions of this character that are so much different than the one we currently know as the main modern Sonic. And even still, we also have different iterations of this character that are supposed to be the same, yet act completely different than how he was initially supposed to be portrayed. It's no secret that the 2010s era of Sonic the Hedgehog is a lot different than that of the 2000s era of Sonic the Hedgehog, at least in terms of the character portrayals, and I'm not just talking about Sonic the Hedgehog here either. For better or for worse, many of these characters have changed from the way they used to be, and honestly, it's been pretty noticeable. At one point in time, you would recognize these characters for having dozens of different personality traits, and you wouldn't be able to sum them up in just a sentence. However, nowadays, these characters have just been simplified. In other words, you can say that these characters have become a shell of their former selves. Games like Sonic Colors, Generations, Lost World, and even Sonic Forces illustrate these characters exactly in the manner that I'm speaking of. And I guess the irony is that some of these games are actually pretty good, but Sonic's portrayal stays consistent throughout them, and that's generally pretty bad in my opinion. So I got to thinking the other day what I personally believe is the worst Sonic the Hedgehog portrayal, and as I kinda went through it, I realized that this may not even be from an actual Sonic game. I think my least favorite version of this character actually comes from that of the OKKO Let's Be Heroes TV show. Way back in 2019 at San Diego Comic-Con, Sega and Cartoon Network officially announced that there would be a crossover episode between OKKO and Sonic the Hedgehog. The episode would later be titled Let's Meet Sonic. Late in July of that year, we were given a first look as of what this episode would look like, and that was the first minute of this episode. And throughout the very first few seconds of it, we see that there's going to be tons of Sonic references throughout the entirety of this episode. And just mere moments later, we get our first look at Sonic and Tails, and that is the end of this first look. The full episode released about a month later, and to be totally honest, I loved it. There was hardly anything that I really didn't like about it, and off the bat I gave it immediate praise. Unfortunately, that love was short-lived. I watched the episode again a few weeks later and I realized that there weren't that many great things about it as I thought there were. Like, for example, Sonic the Hedgehog as a character wasn't that great in this show. Like I said earlier about the 2010s era of Sonic the Hedgehog, one of the biggest problems was that it stripped all of these characters from their memorable qualities and only left them with one really deeming trait. And I feel like this show does exactly that with Sonic the Hedgehog and Tails. More specifically with Sonic, whereas he just seems like he's just this arrogant, know-it-all character that only wants respect and appreciation. One of my biggest problems with Sonic in this episode is that he's way too arrogant. And I'm not saying that Sonic in the games isn't arrogant at all, because let's be honest, he is, but it matters who he's arrogant to and about what. You see, when it comes to Sonic and Eggman's relationship and dynamic throughout the games like Sonic Unleashed, Sonic is arrogant to him because he knows he can beat him. Whereas in this show, Sonic is arrogant to those close to him, and kind of puts them in harm's way just because he knows he can save them anyway. This version of Sonic let KO actually go first and get roboticized. KO is the most vulnerable character out of the three of them in this group, so why should he be the first one to go in harm's way? Sonic is not the type of character to let this kind of thing happen, although the way the show is written makes it seem like he is. There's this one scene in this episode where KO is trying to learn how to do a spin dash to go save his friends, but Sonic doesn't even seem to help him at all. Actually, he just kind of lets him figure it out himself, of course while getting injured in the process. But hey, at least they're referencing the Sonic OVA, that's pretty cool, right? Jokes aside, it can be really easy to be blinded by all of these magnificent references, to ignore the fact that Sonic's character really does stink in this episode. It seems like throughout the entirety of this 13-minute episode, with one little minor exception, Sonic is only glorifying himself and how great he is and how great he can be. And coming from a Sonic fan, this gets really tiring. Sonic's vie for attention and admiration actually causes him to kind of discredit the role of Tails throughout this episode. For the most of what's going on here, it seems like Sonic is leading Tails to believe that he's going to be replaced by KO. And even as ridiculous as that sounds, Tails seems to fall for it, and Sonic just kind of lets it play on. By the end of the episode, KO actually begins to praise Tails for all of his heroic efforts, and Sonic gets jealous of that. And so to express that jealousy, Sonic yawns extra loud so Tails can no longer get praise from KO. At the beginning of this episode, it's even expressed in a very similar way where Sonic really only cares about himself, as when KO's friends get kidnapped, Sonic is still left wondering where the chili dogs are. We as the viewer are able to see the visual disdain on KO's face, and even Tails understands the gravity of the situation, yet Sonic refuses to, still only caring about himself, which come to find out was the ongoing trend of the entire episode. So don't get it twisted, this episode still is very good in its own right because of all the references they wanted to put in it, but none of it actually is attributed to how good Sonic is as a character. Because if I'm being honest, if this did not have as many references as it did, this episode probably would have fell flat because of how bad Sonic's character is written. Or at least that's just my opinion. So as always, let me know in the comment section down below your personal thoughts on this episode, and also Sonic's portrayal in it, because as always, I'd love to see what you guys have to say. And also while you're at it, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this video, because it lets me know that you liked it and I can create more content just like this. And as always, content like this would not be possible without my legendary channel members. Thank you all so much for supporting me and my channel and creating the best possible content that I can create. Like I say all the time, I wake up every day praising the Lord for amazing people like you guys. Y'all are truly the best. Thank you all again so very much. If you're interested in becoming a member of my channel, there'll be a link in the description down below. But with that aside, thank you all again so much for watching. This is Sonicsta signing out. Have a super blessed day, y'all.
Why are you playing that trash?